some solutions that would be, I think, in my wheelhouse.
It cropped up this last year, and I was stunned to find out that they don't answer to anybody. They fly under the radar on everything. So,
okay.
So the next opportunity on our list here is these things don't come up very often, right? So on Mason Lake, there is a large privately owned campground, and it's currently owned by Green Diamond. Green Diamond does not want to own a campground anymore. So they had approached the state parks department, I believe, last year or the year before, in trying to get them to gauge their interest in it. Believe from the conversations that we've had with Green Diamond administration that they expressed interest in it, but really didn't have, it was too small for them to really go in and adopt. So Green Diamond then turned to the county and said, hey, what do you guys think? So when you look at the amazing natural resources that we have around our county and the areas where you can have public access to those resources, I believe that, and I'm kind of speaking for the commissioners, but they can definitely put in their own words here. It really popped up as an opportunity to acquire and open a pretty amazing campground on Mason Lake that could really open it up to a larger population of folks to come and visit it. And then it could be actually run as one of our county parks. So we are in the process and have been given permission to actually go out and start to do some assessments of what the value of that is. Not only from infrastructure, where's the infrastructure at, but also looking at the financial side of it and saying how much are they currently getting in fees so that we could actually collect enough in fees to actually support the staff that would be needed to operate it. But there's a pretty big hurdle of actually acquiring it. I know that Green Diamond has talked to other legislators about this. I'm not sure if they've actually spoke with you directly, but definitely interested in your guys' view on what does that look like moving forward for Mason County, and is it something that we could look to the state for some support in acquiring property?
It's going to come all out of the same budget. I mean, the bucket, like the things that you're going to ask for as far as rate relief and all that kind of stuff. We have one place to get it, unless we talk state parks into partnering or something.
We did talk to Green Diamond about it last year, and we had them go, work with state parks, right? And then also to see if there are state parks buckets of money in the capital budget, but we're talking different scales, right? And that's like kind of like PSAR list or anything else. It's like you put yourself on, if you can get on the list, you get on the list, but you're down the list quite a ways. But I mean, that's a different scheme than Mason County owning it. And so I personally want to make sure we have that asset available to our community like it has been. I have an idea of what at least what Green Diamond thinks it's worth, right? And so I guess you'll have to do your due diligence to find out what it's really worth and see if that kind of matches up. But at the end of the day, if the ask is for me and Dan and Drew to come in to kind of defray some of those costs, like I'm going to throw out a random number that may or may not be true, but if it's $10 million, and the 35th district only has so much capacity to help defray the costs. I mean, maybe $1 million, maybe $2 million, and of course a downturn in revenue, maybe a capital budget that has less capacity, unfortunately, potentially, right? So we'll see, but I'm not opposed to trying to work together to find a solution that keeps that asset in our community, and I'm actually, as a constituent, happy that Mason County is looking into it. So
it would be nice. I just want to make it clear, like, we have one bucket of money to do capital purchases. We're not going to be able to take it from general fund and that sort of thing. So if we're going to have to go all in if we're going to do it. And so that means other things that may be on the list, and they've been carryover for the other years.
Sure.
They might have to change priority.
Yeah, I mean, if our community projects budget is, you know, $3 million, and you've asked us for, you know, other things aside from that, I mean, put it in your priority list where it ranks, right, amongst your, and also knowing that our infrastructure and economic development is our priorities, right? Building new water pipes in Matlock is more important than, you know, buying a new park that we have to figure out how to maintain.
But,
So,
but it's amazing for the community to have that and have it fully open so the whole Mason County community could use it. That, yeah.
You want to speak on?
Yeah, I'll just say, I do think it's a unique opportunity for us to consider that. We have, at least not in my tenure on the commission, really expanded our parks portfolio, at least not to this extent. And certainly, there wouldn't be a whole lot of reinventing the wheel there. They have a business model, you know, that they have been able to maintain and operate that park for quite a while. So where it ranks in terms of priorities for the county, I would say based on the unique nature of the opportunity, it would, in my opinion, be a pretty high priority for the county. How that fits in with other requests that you get from other organizations in the county, that's frankly your problem, not mine. I mean, well, you know what I mean, you kind of have to sift through those, and you know what the lay of the land is going to look like for you in session. And so just like you do with the bypass, you're in the room, you make those calls, right? But I think from our perspective, I mean, having the opportunity to keep that in the public sphere and accessible to the public is pretty important to us. And you know, the reality is if they don't want to maintain it the way they do, and state parks continues to refuse to take that project on, the likelihood that becomes housing and inaccessible to the public is a high probability.
and that would be a true loss.
Correct. Yeah. And so I mean, those are the things that factor into our decision making on that.
But I mean, also, you know, purchasing the property is not something, it's not like we can phase that in.
Correct.
Right? I mean, I don't know if there'd be a down payment or if you finance it or something, but at the end of the day, you're just purchasing the property.
Yeah.
Right? And then, of course, you set up your own business model to maintain, right? Throw it under your portfolio and parks.
Through REIT, we have some capacity to make improvements, and I think probably as a county or at the point where we need to maybe look at the Metropolitan Parks District again to help support some of these things so that we don't have to keep coming back to you for projects like that, or we don't overburden our REIT in the same way. So I think it takes a comprehensive look at kind of how this would fit into the county's operations to make that kind of a decision. But you know how it goes sometimes with these things. You don't always get the perfect timing and the ability to plan for an acquisition of this scale. And so we're kind of trying to play a little bit of catch up. And that's what Mark was saying about we're doing some feasibility work now and trying to figure that out. So it's likely that we might come to you in the next couple of months with an ask that is significant and outside of the realm of probably reality for you in session, but just kind of recognizing that those are the things that we probably have to do in order to kind of keep that conversation going. Sure. And looking for other partnership opportunities and things like that. So
and you maybe don't know yet, are you going down the path of potentially like just financing this, or like in terms of how you, I know you're doing feasibility stuff, but like what direction are you heading in? Is this a project maybe you're leaning towards a finance kind of option where you finance it and pay it down, or is this we're just going to pay for it outright and drop a bucket of cash?
I think that there may be some flexibility there with Green Diamond. Green Diamond, I think, also shares in the wish that it could be open and accessible to the public, and so they're willing to work with us on that. I'm hopeful of that. I don't know if there's a drop dead date associated with when ownership says, hey, either take this action or don't, but by this certain time we're gonna either take this other road and potentially go out and sell it. to the general public. But hopefully there's some opportunities there. We do have a new grant writer that's coming on here at the end of September. Definitely task them with going and doing some research on what other opportunities are out there, maybe at the federal level, to protect some of these lands, right? It's not often that you get the opportunity to acquire and protect areas of waterfront like this that are truly not as accessible as others, right? We do have a Mason County Park that's really a boat launch on the opposite side of the lake now that gives individuals access to the lake by boat, but then once they get on the lake, they couldn't, if that wasn't available, then they would not be able to enjoy anything off the water. So hopeful that we can find that. Definitely interested in looking down all the different roads that are there. I think as Commissioner Schutte said, it's something that it's difficult to find a good time to ask for it or a good place to ask, but to not do anything and not do the research or the due diligence that we need to do now feels like it would be too big of a loss to not do anything. So definitely looking for opportunities and for you guys to keep your eyes and ears open. And I know that they've talked to other legislators that are out there that have expressed some interest in it. So
Dan, Travis, I see it a little different now, the opportunities and possibilities. Something like what we just talked about now. I don't expect that you would move everything over to do this because there's too many others that are needy. What I think it would probably be a more likely opportunity is you have a few other legislators that see it as a big giant project that they're willing to jump on and maybe give some great support through RCO grants or some other granting opportunities to eat up part of it. And I do know that Green Diamond is interested or will discuss phasing, as you use the word. I know they will because they said that it's not off the table without a doubt. So there are different opportunities. As you heard Commissioner Schutte mention, we also have monies that are available in REIT that might meet up for some matching money. So it might be a combination of all of it at once. But what it would take is us to let you know that this is a possibility. We are looking at it, and all of a sudden you get a phone call that there's something in front of us that combined, if you put your power behind it, we might be able to make something happen. And I think that's what the goal is, at least for myself.
I just want to make the expectations clear, like it might cut into another project that you might want. So you guys are going to have to tell us the priority and where it ranks in the priority list. And Kevin, you're absolutely right. In the room, we might have to make calls and balls and strikes, but we need to know where it rates. And I want you, and we talked about this last year, there so many entities in Mason County are looking at the capital budget for help and resources, and I do believe that it benefits all of Mason County. I just wanted that to be clear.
And I'm good with that, because I just know myself, I believe that, I wish that number was a real one, but I think it's gonna be much higher when it comes time, much higher. So I don't know how we can pull it off without it being something basically set aside separate and done in a separate action with teaming up with others. I don't know how you can pull it off, because we're all limited what we can do and what we have available to us. So I appreciate that you're even considering it for us, though, to be there when we.
Oh, it'd be exciting. I'd love to have it more accessible.
We've been keeping our ear to the ground. We've talked to Green Diamond about it early on. We just, been seeing how things play out and trying some other options. But absolutely, I think we both have the same heart as you, that we want to keep that asset in our community. And we will be open to hearing any potential solutions and ways we can help, to make that happen.
Yeah, so I realize that you guys are definitely limited on your local access funds and what you have control over and what's actually allotted to Mason County. So I'm thinking that beyond that, right? So other potential opportunities that might exist out there, and definitely Mason County is going to do our share of the work in terms of determining what those true costs are, right? What are we looking for? And looking for other opportunities that may be outside of the state government, maybe at the federal level, but really looking around for other opportunities to find funds to help us get it done. So.
And we can help sign letters to
Sure. That's
the
very
feds.
supportive. Yeah.
I think we just talked about feasibility.
Yeah. All right, so what else you got?